What's up? It's your man Jay Working.
What in the world?
You want to know how to do a quick Instagram ad? It's going to take me a couple minutes to show you how to do a quick Instagram ad for an apparel company with using 2 pictures and a couple effects. Let's get it. So we're going to fire up our Photoshop. We're going to hit File, Create New. We're going to go right here to the document size. This is for Instagram size, right? So it's 1080 width by 1350 height. Make sure that the resolution is 72 and make sure this background is set to black because it may be set to white. So come down here, set this to black, click OK. Make sure this is a small size because this is on Instagram. We want it to be small. We want it to load fast, right? So I'm gonna click OK. So here's our canvas and the images I have, I don't really have a lot to work with. I'm only using 3. I'm using some effects. Here's the main focal point image. And I got another image right here of this model with the active gear on, right? So this is a active apparel. So let's get our main image in here and get this separated from the background. So I'm just gonna take this and drag this right on top of my canvas. Boom. So the quickest way to separate an image from a background to me is using the quick masking selection tool, right? So when I move it over here, you can see this circle, right? It's like a brush. So if I hit my bracket keys, the right bracket makes my brush bigger, the left bracket makes my brush smaller, okay? So the bracket keys is right next to the P on your keyboard, right? So whatever I brush with this, I'm gonna zoom in. So a quick way to zoom in is hitting Command plus. We can zoom in so we can see, and we can see the brush, right? So this thing is highly intelligent, right? So whatever this brush touches, it selects. Selecting means talking to the program. We can see these little moving lines. Those are called marching ants, right? So we're not gonna get too fancy with this. Because the thing is too, like one of my rules of practice is I don't wanna get too fancy with it because I don't know what I'm gonna use and what I'm not gonna use, basically. So he sent me a bunch of pictures and he sent me stuff that I really didn't use, I didn't like, but I did wanna get it on my page just so I could see it and just so I can kinda get an idea on, you know, what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, right? So I'm just making sure that I'm just touching, barely touching the edge, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because, you know, it may pick up areas that you don't want it to pick up, and that's an easy, quick fix. So kind of like in here, coming down in here. So the way to push this selection back is holding down the Option Alt key. And then when I do that, it gives me a negative sign, and then I can push that selection back. Right, so I'm just holding it down, and we got this hair. I'm not trying to get too fancy with this. The most precise tool would be the pen tool, right? But this is for Instagram ads. So if I zoom out, we can kind of see we have a selection around our image. Okay, so that's good enough. So I'm gonna hit layer mask. When I hit layer mask, it puts a layer mask around this image, right? So the way the layer mask works is when you paint black, it erases and white shows up, right? You can see the image. So you can see, if I cut this off, you can kind of see some spots that's kind of patchy, right? So I'm just gonna get my paintbrush, make sure that my foreground color is on black. Make sure I'm over here on my layer mask and just paint black, right? So, again, I'm using my bracket keys to make my brush smaller, and then I'm just coming across here and not trying to get too precise. Okay, so I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna resize this. So Command T on your keyboard, grab this side, bring it down, kind of come up. I'm gonna get this other image, so I'm gonna go File, Open. Find this other image, right there. Click Open. Boom. Then you just use your move tool. So this top tool is the move tool. You click on your image, you click it, you hold it, you move it up to your document tab, it opens it up, you drag it down, and boom. Okay? So one of the things is understanding layers, right? So it's a stacking order, right? So I want this layer underneath. So I'm gonna click it, hold it down, and move it underneath, and now I have it. So I'm gonna resize this. So I'm gonna hide this layer temporarily. I'm gonna hit Command T, drag this down, because I kind of wanted to take up most of this image, my layout, right? So I got this little gray line right here that I don't like. So I'm gonna use this rectangle marquee tool, kind of come down and just grab a little edge of that and just delete it. Command D, deselects, right? So you can make a selection. You see we got the Martian ants, and Command D cuts it off. That's the deselect, right? So the move tool, I'm gonna move it over some. I'm nudging it with my arrow. Just make sure that the space right here is even. Just kind of evening it up by the eye. Okay, boom. Now we got this image. Okay, so one of the problems is that this is blue and she's got this yellow and black on, right? So one of the things is that I'm gonna cut this off. I wanna kind of fade this up too. So that's easy to do. So I'm gonna select this image. I'm gonna name this hoodie. I'm gonna name this just girl. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna make a layer mask, boom. And I'm just gonna do a smooth gradient from, a basic gradient from black to transparent up here. So I'm gonna click on my image down at the bottom, I'm gonna click and drag up, and that's gonna fade it up. So I'm just trying, boom. I want to show some here. And then I kind of want to get rid of this edge right here, kind of come down. I want to kind of fade this up. So that's easy. I'm going to click on my image right here, and I'm going to use the magic wand tool and see if that works. Okay, beautiful. Magic wand tool, I selected it. I'm going to get my paintbrush, make my brush bigger, brackets, and I'm just going to paint black, and that's going to get rid of that. Command D, deselect. We got the straight line, so I kind of want to, I'm just lightly painting black just to kind of smooth that out. And I'm gonna get the magic wand tool, select this other side right here, hit my paintbrush tool, paint black. Reason why I'm selecting this is because it's protecting it so I don't mess up it. I'm gonna hit Command D. It's not the best selection, boom. Then I'm slowly, so I'm just blending this in, right? So it's a little bright. We're gonna add some contrast to it. So down here in your layers panel, right in the center, you got your adjustment layers. So I'm gonna go down to my adjustment layers, and then I'm gonna go to levels. I got my levels right here, and on the levels, this is the highlight, this is the mid-tone, and this is the darks. So I want to darken this up some. And I want to clip it to the image too. So I'm gonna hit this, make sure I clip it to the image, and I'm just making some adjustments, just kind of making it a little drastic, and I'm gonna adjust the hue and saturation. Hue means color, saturation is the brightness of that color. So again, hue and saturation, I'm gonna clip it to it, and I'm gonna take down the saturation some. Boom. Okay. So that's how you do that. So now back to this image. So I'm gonna cut on my layer and bring this down. Part of the problem is that it's blue, and this is kind of, the theme is kind of black and yellow. That's kind of the brand colors. So I'm gonna make this a dual tone. That's easy to do. So select this layer called the girl. I'm gonna come right back into my layer adjustments. As you notice, this is how you make layer adjustments. And I'm gonna select gradient map. So make sure that you clip this effect to it so it doesn't affect everything underneath. And instead of black and white, I'm just gonna make it, I'm gonna hit this reverse right here. and make this white yellow. So double click on it, come in here, grab a yellow tone. So one of the things is this, I'm gonna hit cancel. One of the things is this, I'm gonna come down in this image right here and I'm gonna grab this foreground color, double click on it, and then when I move my mouse over here in this image, I got this eyedropper, right? And I can select colors. So I'm gonna select this yellow because I really want it to match. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm kind of trying to grab this lightest color right here. Right here. So you can see right here where this hashtag is at. This is the Pantone color ID swatch for this color, right? So I gotta select it, I'm gonna copy it, Command C, and then when I come back up, I'm gonna paste it in here. So back to my gradient map. I'm gonna double click on this bar right here, come in here right where this little square is, because this is the white, double click on it, click color, then I'm gonna paste it right here. Boom. So you can always brighten it up too. So double click on it, boom. Okay, so that's how you do that, boom. So another thing is I had some text coming across the side and I had the logo. So let's get the logo in there. File open. Logo. Logo's already separated from the background. So sometimes when you bring images in, you can see it's clipped. I don't want it clipped, I want it on the outside. So I'm gonna raise it up so it's at the top. And to unclip it, you can right click over here in this gray area and come to release clipping mask. It's clipped, we don't want it to be clipped. So I'm gonna move it over here and I'm gonna tone it down some. So I'm gonna take the opacity and I'm turning it down and make it opaque. Boom. Then I had the word ISA coming down, ISA. So I'm gonna come in here and type ISA. And I just had like a thick font. I don't know which one I used. Impact. Command T. Kind of wanted it to be repetitious. So I'm gonna come down here and click OK. And when I click on my text tool, I could come to this little white box. This is the color. I'm gonna come in here and grab one of these yellow colors, man. Boom. And I just had it duplicated it a couple times. Boom, boom, boom. So I just copied and pasted, kind of move that down, boom. All right, so that's basically our layout right there, which is cool. All right, so now, once you get your overall layout and tone in, the last little stages is kind of adding some effects to it, right? So, I had like some fire coming up underneath her. I got a light beam coming across her hands, moving up into her face. And I had some sparks coming across. So let's get the fire coming up underneath her, right? So it's gonna come together. It always comes together when you add effects. So I got the sparks, so I'm gonna open up this and make sure you kind of close down these layers you're not using, these other tabs. Closing those down. And I'm gonna move this over. I'm gonna drop this on my image. It's way up at the top. I want it underneath her. So it's gonna take this layer and move it down right underneath her. Boom. So the thing that's beautiful about the blending modes is that if it's black, and when you do a blending mode right here up in your layers panel, if I go down, I can see when I go down to light and screen, it screens out the black. So I'm gonna do screen and I'm gonna resize it. So Command T, I can't really see it. If you do a Command T and don't see your bounding box, it's too big. So zoom out, Command minus, so I can see it, grab it down, and then you can see. Then I like to just zoom back in, Command plus. I hit this check mark to okay it, and we can see it. It's kind of coming together. So then I had some sparks over the top of her face. So file open. Get these sparks, boom. Drag that over on my document. And I want this on top of everything. So I want this on top, and I'm gonna rotate it, Command T. If you come close to it, you can see like my icon turn into like this half circle arrows. That means that you can rotate it. Boom, come down. And I got the sparks on top. I'm gonna zoom in. And it was a lot. So I went to a layer mask. I got my black, got my brush, and I kind of got rid of some of it because I still want to see her face. I kind of still want, I don't want it to be too busy with effects, right? Tone this down. I don't want it to be too busy with effects. I still want you to be able to see her, see the girl, see the logo, see all these elements in here. So be careful when you're doing effects. It's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. I think she need a shadow underneath her too. That's easy to do. Let's try that real quick. I'm gonna make a new layer. So down in your layers panel, you got the garbage can, you got the new layer, click the new layer, and then I'm just gonna get a black paint brush, just like I'm painting. And just dark a little bit under there. And let me zoom in too. I'm gonna kinda, she's got a, I could have cleaned her up better. So I don't like this line right here. So I'm just gonna zoom in, kind of clean that up. I'm gonna use this little quick pen tool. Right click on the pen tool, make selection, click OK. And I'm just gonna get the paintbrush and hit black. There. I really didn't take a lot of time cleaning that up, but I just wanted this to be quick. I didn't want this to be a super long tutorial, bro. So we ain't got all day. Okay, so let's get this light beam in here. And that was easy, right? So one trick is I make a new layer, boom. And I get this marquee tool, rectangle marquee tool, and I'm gonna come across the hands and come up. Make a box, right? So this is the trick to this. I want it to be like this light yellow, but you gotta kind of make it in the reverse. That makes sense. I'm gonna come down here and grab this dark brown. Boom. And I'm just gonna fill it with this dark brown. Then I'm gonna hit deselect. Then I'm gonna come over here to my blending modes. And then when I come into color dodge, linear dodge, it kind of gives me this effect right here. Boom. Then I put a layer mask on top of that. I'm sorry. File open. I put a lens flare on top of that. That's the lens flare. Boom. Just gonna grab this part. Remember with the blending modes, when you got black, you can knock the black out. Command V. You can knock the black out with blending modes. So let's rotate it. Let's rotate it, Command T. Rotate it. We're gonna click OK. And we're gonna knock the black out using the blending modes. Look at that, boom. Come in there, yeah. You don't even really need You didn't really even need that little bar I made, but you could use it. So I'm gonna put a layer mask right here and kind of fade the sides of it. You can make it smaller. You can make this, I'm gonna zoom out. Sometimes you gotta zoom out so you can grab it. I'm gonna make the lens flare smaller, kind of zoom in. So that's it. That's how you do the ad. That's real quick and dirty. Just adding a couple effects. You kind of get the point. It's just being able to just really add your images, move stuff around the layer, add different effects, and see what you get. Like, I could keep going, really. So if I could come down in here, and I'm gonna go up and make a new layer up on top of here. And let's just say that if this was glowing and stuff, like, I could change it to that linear dodge right here, grab that brown color that I had, and when I start painting on her face, it's gonna give it that highlight. So if it was, it would be shining on her face. You know, you could do all kind of stuff, man. So if I wanted to lighten up her eyes, I could. So just real quick, I'm gonna hold shift and I'm trying to select over her eye. Let's see if this will work. I don't know. Hue and saturation over her eye, and then bring up the saturation on her eye. Boom. That's dope. Your man Jay Working signing off. Thank you for tapping in with your man. If you want more tutorials like this, let me know. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you can know when I post again. That's how you do a quick Instagram ad using 2 pictures and a couple effects. Grah!